I'ma show them it's a difference. I'ma only say this once, you better listen. When West is where it started, so you know that's where it...
Shit is just different, man. I'ma show them the difference.
I'ma show them it's a difference. I'ma only say this once, you better listen. When West is where it started, so you know that's where it finished. We got one main objective, nigga, let's complete the mission. We explaining what the who, lead them bitches in they feelings. Snub on me, only time I put my nose inside your business. I don't want my gun to show, so I wear my shirt bigger. This is our world, cause if this was your world, I'd be the villain. Break his whole block down, all I gotta do is business. Stuffing Mac shell drums, turn your crib to Sunday dinner. You don't live here, you visit, this my shit, it's a difference. I don't do lean, Lobos in my cup is what I'm sipping. I don't do dreams, I just say a prayer, go and get it, and it all work out. You know this ain't for play, this ain't for fun. I've been destined for this shit. Niggas know that I'm the one. This shit can go 100 yards. You would think I kicked the punt. You would think I had a flare gun on go. You niggas run. They like he an Israelite. All he rap about is guns. Bitch, I'm an Israelite that own a lot of guns. What that nigga said who? Tell him watch the grind. Yeah, you must be crazy if you ever think of stopping mine. Knock all of the chains out you niggas. Make them drop a dime. This Taurus whole 12. It is not a zodiac sign. Piss me off. Get me in my bag. Make me drop a bomb. Drop a nuke. Make the world freeze. I can stop the time. Watch what you do, cause once you do it, you can't press. On purpose, I do the opposite, so nigga cross the line. This is different. I ain't looking for trouble, but on point, in case you think I rap. Turn him to a vegetable. Lead this nigga cabbage patch. No new niggas with me. If you see him, then they got my back. Got it out the mud, big stepping. You can see the tracks. Follow me. I could teach you something. Have her see relax. If you gonna speak on anything, just make sure it's fact. There's a difference. We are not the same. Help them notice that. Pay attention. Watch how we move. We can know we can't hang around all real niggas. Then we move as one. This ain't Fortnite. Get into it. Ain't no 1v1. The smoke I bring to you, you can't take it in with your lung. Life about warfare, we just make it look fun. She asked what kind of oil you I got on, I told her give them some. When West the only real niggas left, you better get you one. Chicken shop, giving out wings if I pull a drum. It's a difference, you better watch your words before you eat your tongue. Scrape the whole plate, not a trace nor leave a crumb. Ice falling off the watching chain like it's freezer burn. Daring somebody to say my name, I will eat to him. Loyalty means everything, so I don't eat with them.
All right, we start. All right, Most High Christ, Shalom Israel, Yahweh Shem Yahshua Brakathum, Yahweh Shemal, Thumba Shem Yahshua, Priest and Officer 1000 Yadai. I mean, holding it down this Tuesday brotherhood class, man. Give it up to my big brother, Priest and Officer 1000 Don Yali, top 3, not 2 and not 3. You know what I mean? Got my brother, Priest and Officer 1 Stack Barzal Recall with me. You know what I mean? Understand this, black man, Latino man, First Nation man and woman. The ISUPK under Commander General Yohana is where real brotherhood is, man. You're not going to find no brotherhood outside of the UPK with Commander General Yohana. Because I see y'all in the Christian church. I see y'all out there in the Muslim mosque. Y'all don't have no brotherhood. Y'all for damn sure don't got no brotherhood on that Clubhouse and that Twitter bar zone. Everybody on there claim to be down for black people. But as soon as the UPK come around and offend your white daddy, y'all stand up for them and not your brothers. That's why y'all are cowards, man. That's why if you are a brother or sister, man, a black, Latino, or First Nation man and woman that is tired of what's going on in this country, that's tired of what's going on, you know what I mean, was derailing our people, man, you got to come into the UPK under Commander General Yohana, because this is where real brotherhood is. And let me explain something to y'all, too, that you need to understand. We told y'all in the ISUPK, you know what I mean, that these diseases, these pestilence, all of these things was going to come to pass, man. When our King Yahweh Shah Mashiach, Jesus Christ, that what the world ignorantly knows him as, prophesied about these things in Matthew the 24th chapter. Now you got the monkeypox, Barzo. On top of the COVID, the Omicron, and all these other pestilence and diseases that's getting ready to hit this place. Don't you understand that now is high time? As a matter of fact, Barzo, let me get that. Let me Romans 13 and verse 11. Also, to Israel, I'll be answering your questions tonight. Got any questions, put them in the chat. Let's get it on.
This is the book of Romans, chapter 13 and verse 11.
Uh-huh.
In that, knowing the time.
In that, knowing the times, man. Not knowing the times. The times is right here, man. We are at the end of the so-called world, black man, Latino man, First Nation man and woman. The end of the oppressor's world at that. His world is on coming to an end. You know what I mean? That's 2 Ezra chapter 6 and verse 9. But now, knowing the time, because now is the time to know that it's time to come out of the world, man. That it's time to leave America alone. Time to leave the oppressor in these heathen nations alone, man. They start to get back down with your brothers and your sisters, man. Read on.
of God. That now it is high time.
It is high time. Meaning this, everybody claims to be so woke. Like, what the hell is that? Y'all claiming to be so woke, so down. You still fast asleep as ever, black man, Latino man, and woman. Now is the time to wake up. Now it is high time, man. Now is the time for you to put them drugs down and stop smoking that weed. Now is the time to stop being a whoremonger or being a whore or being a murderer now. A murderer. And I guess, and I listen, and I bet you Brittany Griner understands that. Brittany Renner too. All them whores, man. The whore, Brittany Renner, you see what's going on with her? You know what I mean? Kevin Gates making a fool out of himself. Big shout out to Priest and Officer of 5,000 a Bun, bringing that out on Twitter. You got Brittany Griner, man, over there suffering in some gulag, some, you know what I mean, purgatory over there in Russia because she's an addict and can't get off the weed. Let this be an example, black man, Latino man, and woman, that we see these times, that now it is high time to leave these things alone. Now is the time to put them drugs down. Now is the time to stop being a whore. Now is the time to stop doing that evil thing, man, and get your life together. This is that period. Now, it says that knowing the time, that it is now high time to what?
To awake out of sleep.
Understand this, man. Now is the time to wake up. Wake up to your identity. We don't know who we are, man. You thinking you African American. What the hell is that? How the hell can you be African and American? How? Let me ask y'all this. What do you call a Chinese man in Canada? Chinese Canadian, Barzal? They know their identity. They know their culture. We're not African. We ain't descendants of Leo Scipios Africanus, a Roman conqueror, a white man, the oppressor. We're not a descendant of Amerigos Vespucci, you know what I mean, who America was named after. We're not descendants from these oppressors, and we're not descendants of Africa, man. We do not come from the lineage of Ham. We come from the lineage of Shem, from Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Jacob's name was changed to Israel, Yasha'Allah, princes of the power. Now it is the time to wake out of sleep and come back to our identity, to waking up that we are the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel, man. And for you dummies out there that don't understand that, man, that Latino man and woman, they are the children of Israel as well. That First Nation man and woman, the Seminole Indian man and woman, they are God's chosen people as well, man. That black man and woman in the West Indian Islands and in Haiti and the Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, we are the Lord's chosen people, man. Understand that. Now it is high time to awake out of sleep, man. Read on.
Oh God. For now is our salvation nearer than we believe.
Now is our salvation nearer than what we believe. You thought your salvation, you know what I mean, was around the corner. Guess what, black man, Latino man, First Nation man and woman? It is. It really is. And it's closer than what you think it is. And this salvation is only for Israelites, man. It ain't for everybody. We got to stop trying to give our salvation to everybody. Everybody is not worthy of salvation. You know who's worthy of salvation? The First Nation man and woman. They're worthy of salvation, man. I was watching that movie, you know what I mean, the new Predator, Barzal. Good movie. You know what I mean? Just from understanding it, from a movie standpoint, it is a good movie. But they do push those narratives, man. They push in the narratives, man, where they're trying to role reverse, where they want the woman to be on top and trying to put the brothers down. The brothers fought the Predator, you know what I mean? Sister ended up killing him, man. You know, they fought hard. Gat fought hard against the Predator, Barzal. But let me explain something to y'all that y'all probably don't understand. The oppressor is the real predator in America. He's the real predator. Like when you think predator, you think that thing that, you know, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Danny Glover, and that Gadite sister fight in the movie, an alien. No, the real predator is the oppressor. He's the one that came over here, you know what I mean, and raped and murdered, you know what I mean, the North American Indian, the First Nation man and woman, the Seminole Indian man and woman, the Mexican man and woman, the Taino Indian, the Puerto Rican and Cuban man and woman, and enslaved them, and enslaved that black man and woman, man, here in the West Indian Islands on the sugar plantations, man. Put embargoes on our brothers and sisters in Haiti and in Trinidad and Tobago and Jamaica where they cannot export. You know what I mean? They can't buy or sell in a biblical sense, man, because the oppressor is the real predator on the earth. He's the real monster that hunts everything He's the apex predator, the top predator. But you got to understand, man, there's somebody that's coming for him. And that's our God. Our God is coming for this predator, this oppressor, the devil that the Bible speaks of. Now is the time. It is high time for us to awake out of sleep. Like, what more does our God have to show us, man, that the oppressor is the devil that the Bible speaks of, and he's not to be trusted? He's not. Because the thing is, here in America, you don't trust your brother. You don't trust your sister, man. We got to realize, man, that fellow black man and woman, that fellow Latino man and woman, that is not your op. That is not your opposition. We are not each other's enemies, man. Our enemies are God's enemies, and they are these other nations, man. These other nations, the oppressor, the Africans, the Arabs, the Polynesian, you know what I mean? And then the Filipinos and the Chinese and Japanese and the East Indians, those are God's enemies, and they are our enemies, black man, Latino man, and woman. And how is God dealing with our enemies? I'll tell you, with pestilence and disease. Plagues, real plagues are being dropped on these other nations right now, man. Like, I don't need to tell y'all, man, like Commander General Yohana went into a story yesterday that blew my mind. That monkeypox right now is primarily targeting Black and Hispanic people now. Don't you understand, as Blacks and Latinos, man, that we have to come out of America? Like, how many times do we have to say in the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge that we cannot be homosexuals? It's in this Bible, man. Like, our people, you live that alternative lifestyle because your oppressor daddy told you that you could. And understand this, God is against homosexuality. Like, they push it to the forefront. And it started over there in the early 70s. In the early 70s, Shalom, warrior, Yahweh Shema Shabbat. In the early 70s, right? They changed the narrative, man. Homosexuality used to be diagnosed as a mental illness because homosexuality is a mental illness, man. You're not born gay. You're not. I hate to break it to you, Black man, Latino man, First Nation man and woman. You are not born this way. And I apologize for the molestation that happened to you. I apologize for that pastor, that imam, whoever violated you when you were a child, man, because they were dead wrong and they are worthy of death, man. But that does not mean you get to continue and push that trauma on other people and other children, man. God said that their blood shall be upon them. If I could, young man, give me Leviticus chapter 20 and verse 13. Because our God said homosexuality was an abomination, and I'm going to show it to you in the scriptures. There is nothing glamorous. Let me repeat that. There is nothing glamorous about the alternative lifestyle. First of all, it's disgusting. Second of all, it is revolting. Third of all, it is unseemly. It is just uncanny. It's taboo. It shouldn't be. That's why God put our people to death, and we still are. Like, you got to understand, with this monkeypox, who did it target first? Those gay bars and raves over there in Italy and Europe with the oppressor. And then it started to slowly I'm too wild where I got it. Yeah, man, good. It slowly started to make its way to our people. And now our people are the ones, you know what I mean, that suffer from these plagues and these diseases, man. That's why as Blacks and Latinos, we cannot do the things that our oppressor does. Because homosexuality is something that the oppressor does. And so does the Africans, and so does these other nations. And we're going to go into it. But first, let me show you in the Bible that homosexuality is wrong. Let me get Leviticus chapter 20 and verse 13. Leviticus chapter 20 and verse 13, Baba Kusho.
This is the book of Leviticus, chapter 20, verse 13.
Go ahead.
If a man also lie with mankind.
If a man also lie with mankind, what does that mean? If a man lays down and has sex with another man, or if another woman has sex with another woman. Read on.
As he lieth with a woman.
As he lieth with a woman. Because a man is supposed to lay down with a woman. A woman is supposed to lay down with a man. We're supposed to be laying down with one another. Like, goddamn, and this is what I don't understand about you simple brothers out there that's homosexual. All these fine ass, all these fine sisters out here, man. Barzal say all the time, we got 12 different flavors, man, of blacks, Latinos, and First Nation women, man. And you out here looking at other brothers, that goes to show you it's a mental illness, man. You got demons on you. You got legion on you. And God said that it is an abomination if a man lies down with mankind like he would lay down with a woman. And guess what? It's just as equally disgusting if you are a woman. Like, I saw a video, Barzo. I saw a video. Man, I should have put the computer up here with me. I'll describe it for you. It's these four lesbians. Can't say the other two words. I'm not trying to get flagged. These lesbians. They sitting up there, young man Will, doing a praise dance for Brittany Griner. Y'all played this video. I said, surely our people got legion on them. Doing a praise dance for Brittany Griner. Like, that's going to bring the sister home. Black man, Latino man, First Nation man and woman, that's why you can't be homosexual. That's why you can't be on them drugs, man. It is just as evil and wicked for a woman to be lying down with another woman. Like, let me explain something to I'm going to speak to all the lesbians real quick. I'm about to come across as real chauvinistic and misogynist, but I don't care. Guess what? Them batteries is going to run out. That plastic is going to fall apart. Listen, man, we got the thing that bring life. I remember I was out doing street talk one time. Sister came up to bars. Oh, it's like, I can do everything you can do. He was like, no, you can't. She's like, what you mean? He was like, I'm warm. I said, damn, sis, you cut. You cut. Come on, man. Got the thing that breathe life. Gotta cut that nonsense out, black woman, Latina woman, First Nation woman, and black man, Latino man, First Nation man. Our God said that if a man lays down with another man, as he would lay down with a woman, read on.
Okay. Both of them have committed an abomination.
Both of them have committed an abomination, because it is abominable to our God to be a homosexual. And let me speak to you simple brothers and sisters out there, right? That believe that the Bible plagiarized ancient Kemet. Egypt was the metropolis for homosexuality. Right. Egypt was the first pro-LGBTQP community. God said that it's an abomination. You Egyptians, y'all love it. Y'all did it. Come on, man. Do I got to pull up the hieroglyphs? Do I got to pull up? I ain't going to do it because, listen, if they some rough pictures, Will, I'm trying to tell you. Just look up Geb in your spare time. You know what I mean? If you want to get traumatized, look up Geb. Look up, you know what I mean, Set and Ra. You know what I mean? Come on, black man, Latino man, First Nation man and woman. The Egyptians, man, were homosexuals. Right. Because homosexuality is prevalent among Africans. And it's prevalent among the oppressor and these Arabs. We're the only people, blacks, Latinos, and First Nation men and women, who have rules against this. Because our God knows way better than we'll ever know and told us, yo, don't do what they're doing. Don't do what they're doing. Do what I told you to do. And that should be enough. But a lot of you make excuses saying Christ loves you just as the way you are. That is a goddamn lie. God is going to accept me for who I am. No, he's not. No, he's not. And I'm going to show you that in the Bible as well, man. But read on.
They shall surely be put to death.
They shall surely be what?
Put to death.
Now, back then we had the Levites, the Levitical priesthood. Let me tell you something. If Officer Yatazar, Officer Ida Yar, you know what I mean, and if the shop came to your door, that was your ass back then. If Levi was at your door and said, brother, you sinned, you were homosexual, whatever, you committed adultery, it's time for you to go, you was going. They ain't banging down your door now. Now all the 12 tribes, you know what I mean, of the men from Judah down to Issachar can be priests. And we're not putting you to death for being homosexuals, but God will. How do you think monkeypox is here? You shall surely be put to death. Who's that? Like, let's be real. I don't know if y'all remember. Like, do y'all remember when they used to say homosexuals live a clean lifestyle? Yeah, they so fresh, they so clean, and this. Go ahead, young man. Will. They neat. Yeah. That's a goddamn lie. They are filthy and disgusting, man. How do you think that monkeypox is affecting primarily them? Like, Barzal, they pulled up a stat out that was unbelievable. Oh, go ahead, young man. Go ahead.
I want to say they mad and aggressive too. Like, I got 2 homosexuals upstairs from me, and all you hear is boom, 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 boom. And next thing you know, you get the dog, like, like they mad aggressive. They pull out like 4 TVs, like not 4, like 2 TVs within this week.
Dang.
All you see is like little busted holes, like backhanded or something like that. It's like all I hear is them fighting. I never heard a laugh, joke, none of this.
Because it's a violent lifestyle, man. You going against Barzal, hold Romans chapter 1 and verse 25. You're going against your natural nature. And we're going to get to that as well. They are very violent. Young M.A., she is a violent sister because you're regressing all of that trauma of what happened to you. You heard it here first from the ISUPK and the Commander General. Do not be surprised if Zion Wade, Dwayne Wade's son, starts to get into trouble as he gets older, because he's going to lash out from the trauma that happened to him, man. It happened with what's that gospel singer? What the hell is his name? Y'all know who I'm talking about. You know what? Kirk Franklin. It happened with him and his son. Well, his son came out there and spoke about all the abuse that happened to him, man. Go ahead, brother.
He was on a TV show, spilling beans about his dad.
Exactly.
Like on a reality TV show.
I remember watching bits of it, man. It's hard to watch because you regressing all of that trauma that happened to you, man, and then you begin to lash out at everybody. You lash out against everybody because you're holding the pain of what happened to you, man. And you know how you get free from that pain, man? By coming into the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge under Commander General Yohanan, man. Getting counsel from these righteous priests and prophets, man, and changing your life. Changing your life, black man, Latino man, First Nation man and woman. The Lord says, surely they shall be put to death. And who's dying right now due to the monkeypox? Homosexuals. Brother, CNN put out a stat that said 148 out of 150, 148 of them that had the monkeypox were all gay men. The other 2 were women whose men were on the down low. So basically, 150 out of 150 got monkeypox because of gay men. That's an insane stat. And they being put to death. Like the Lord is showing us right here. Like Officer Hawar would say, man, the Bible is a newspaper. I pick this Bible up and I be like, disease, pestilence, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Putting brothers to death, you know what I mean? Being homosexuals and disobeying God. Oh, monkeypox, AIDS, HIV, coronavirus, swine flu. Ooh-wee. And this was written thousands of years ago by the priests and prophets of God, man. And it's still relevant today. Go ahead, brother.
You think it's like a difference, like let's say a young man was getting touched by a woman. You think he'll still grow to like homosexual, or he'll just have he probably be addicted to sex or something like that?
It's a lot worse. Young brothers that were molested by a grown-ass woman grow up to hate women. They grow up to hate and abuse women. A lot of these young brothers that you see being whoremongers now, they were touched. They were molested. I'll give you a prime example of that. R. Kelly. R. Kelly was molested in the Christian church by older church-going sisters, man, with the feathered hats on. And look at the monster they created with him. I am no way defending him in the evil that he did molesting them girls, man. It was wrong, but he was wrong too. And it started with that goddamn Christian church, man. The cesspool for homosexuality and pedophilia, man. That's what needs to stop amongst our people, man. There's a lot of times with young girls, they go up to be promiscuous, to be whores, or to just be lesbians. And then you got brothers. If they don't turn out to be gay, you become hypersexualized, and then you start to become a predator of young girls or boys yourself. It goes to show you, man, that it's an evil thing. It's an evil thing. And if it happened to you, black man, Latino man, First Nation man and woman, call the ISUPK and seek counsel. Seek counsel. Righteous counsel, man. Now, is there any more? Yeah, read on.
Their blood shall be upon them.
Ooh-wee. Their blood shall be upon them. Oh, man, we'll drop that. Give me Exodus 9 and verse 8. Let me get Romans chapter 1 and verse 25 first. It says their blood shall be upon them. Monkeypox. How do you get it? Through skin contact. It's a blood disease. All these diseases are blood diseases, man. Their blood shall be upon them. HIV and AIDS, man. They had a movie that they put out in the 90s, man, called Philadelphia. About, Tom Hanks playing some lawyer homosexual that caught AIDS, that was suing the city because he was let go because they didn't want to be around him. I tell you this, because of this monkeypox, I've definitely been keeping my distance, young man Will. Salakia. I damn sure been. I was talking to the Levi sister the other day at my slavery. Homosexual gay brother came up like, "Hey, brother, what's going on? What's your name?" Trying to touch me. I'm like, hey, nigga. Shalom, Salakia. Monkeypox going around. Here's the thing, man. With that AIDS and that HIV and that monkeypox, listen, people ain't trying to be around them. They blowing kisses at each other now, Barzal, because they can't have skin-to-skin contact and touching each other. They put out some report, some video, man, that they out there blowing kisses at each other now. Goes to show you, man, you ain't supposed to live that lifestyle. And black man, Latino man, when you see the oppressor living this lifestyle, let them do it. Because here's another thing that they say too. They say because, right, we in the so-called New Testament, oh, Christ loves you for just how you are, baby. The Lord is always going to love you. God is going to accept you. God is still against homosexuality. As a matter of fact, before you get that bars on, I'm going to read this precept because this precept sums up, what Christians need to understand about our God, black man, Latino man, First Nation man and woman, because they love to say, well, God changed. He doesn't feel that way anymore. He accepts the homosexual. He accepts, all these different nations, man. And that's a lie. How do I know it's a lie? Because we read the Bible in the ISUPK and the Command of General, and we understand it. Now, I just want to read one scripture for y'all. I want to read y'all the book of Malachi, the 3rd chapter, and the 6th verse. Malachi chapter 3 and verse 6 says, for I am the Lord, for I am Yahweh. Yahweh is the Lord's name. For I am the Lord. I change not. Meaning God don't change. Like Christians love to make it seem like that God is just like my brother Zarwai says, y'all think God is your personal genie in a bottle. You think like the only time you need to call on God is that when you're in peril or when you need something. God doesn't have to answer all of your prayers. And if you're a sinner, God ain't hearing your prayers anyway. Even if you being a righteous man, the Lord might not hear everything, but he will give you what's going to sustain you. The Lord is going to give you exactly what you need, not necessarily what you want, black man, Latino man, First Nation man and woman. Understand that. Our people have become so arrogant to think, and oh, not my God, not my Jesus. And y'all kill me with that saying, well, Christ is the Most High. Christ is not God. Christ is not God. Like y'all that believe that are schizophrenic. You know that? Like y'all got real demons on y'all. Because clearly I would just have to ask this. In Matthew the 28th chapter, who was Christ praying to? Who is he praying to if he is the Most High? Why pray and say our Father instead of just me? Why? Because y'all don't understand the Bible. You have the Most High Yahweh. You have Christ, Yahweh Shah Mashiach. Christ is not the Most High. He is the greatest man that ever walked this earth. He is our king, and he is going to rule this earth, man. He sits at the right hand of the Father. And guess what? Neither one of them wants you to be a homosexual. Neither one of them wants you to be a drug addict or a junkie. Neither one of them wants you to continue to murder and abort our babies, man. Now, who told us that all of these wicked things that we see is what we should do? Who did this? As a matter of fact, boys, I'll read what you got in Romans. Romans 1 and verse 25.
This is the book of Romans, chapter 1 and verse 25. Who changed the truth of God into a lie?
Who changed the truth of God into a lie? Who told us that homosexuality is an alternative lifestyle? How can that be an alternative lifestyle? First of all, you were put on this earth to procreate. Did the Lord not tell us to be fruitful and multiply? You're being rebellious. The Lord clearly said, be fruitful and multiply. So who changed the truth of God into a lie? You wanted to say something, brother? Oh, no. Just rhetorical. But the oppressor did. He changed the truth of God into a lie. Oh, go ahead, brother.
It's crazy because I went to the mall for the weekend and those Christians walking through the mall and they got a nerve to try to tell me that it was a woman up there with, they try to say that the holy, the scripture said the Holy Jerusalem came down from heaven like a bridesmaid.
Mm-hmm.
They try to say that the Holy Jerusalem was a spiritual woman.
Not knowing that that's us. Talking about Israel.
Talking about like the rulership or leadership, and he was just like just kept going against it.
Because Christians don't understand the Bible.
Right.
First of all, just to give you an example of how dumb Christians are, right? Christians believe that Adam and Eve are the first people on the earth. But in Genesis, the first chapter, it says that he created man and woman, male and female, in waves and told them to be fruitful and multiply. So how can Adam and Eve be the first people? Why would God have to sit Adam down while he went to sleep and perform surgery on him and make him a wife when there's women everywhere? Because God created everything. Go ahead, brother.
It's crazy you brought that up. They even trying to say, it was like, they said, they read the same scripture. It was like, let's make man out of our own woman. And then, let's make man out of our own image. And then that's when women and men and woman was created. And he was like, see, their own image. Why would it be woman if he was making it out of their own image? He's trying to say like it was, it's a woman up there. He's trying to say God created the earth. Told him that knowledge of Jesus, Yahweh Shai, I should say. But I'm trying to tell him Yahweh Shai, and he was going on for a while, but he was just so adamant about saying that the image, let's make man out of our own image, and that man and woman, he tried to say that it was a woman up next to God.
No.
This earth.
No. No. You see, the feminine spirit in the Christian church is insane. You see, that's why the scriptures say we got to be weaned off of milk, you know what I mean, and not, you know what I mean, meat. Like you wouldn't give steak to a baby. They're not gonna understand that Christ was the one that formed the earth. He was the head angel that did this. They think, oh, it's a literal woman up there. They probably think God is a woman. Most High is not a woman. Scripture said the Lord is a man of war. It wasn't some angel woman that gave birth, you know what I mean, to all of humanity. No, that is not what happened. God literally sent the angels out, sent Christ out, and they did this. Boom. I wasn't there, how they did it, but that's just how I imagine. Like how Thanos did that snap. I'm assuming that's what Yahweh Shai did. He said, boom, now we here. But understand this, Black man, Latino man, First Nation man and woman. They don't understand the Bible. They don't know that we have been lied to. They have no clue. That's why they believe in simple things like the surgery. You believe that a woman actually gave birth to just that a spiritual angel woman gave birth to everybody. You know what I mean? When there are no female angels, there are none. There are none. Like a lot of y'all got to stop watching that anime and reading them comic books and that Marvel. There are no such thing as that. If you actually saw an angel, you would be terrified at their sight because we've been lied to here in America. And that's what's so prevalent and which is so important because the scripture clearly says, who changed the truth of God into a lie? They don't understand the truth. They don't understand that blacks, Latinos, and First Nation men and women are the true the 12 tribes of Israel, man. The Israelites of antiquity, God's chosen people. They don't understand, man, that homosexuality is wrong according to God, that we can't be whores and whoremongers. It says, who changed the truth of God into a lie? Read on, Barzo.
Oh, God. And worship and serve the Creator more than the Creator.
And worship and serve the creature.
And worship and serve the creature more than the Creator.
And worship and serve the creature more than the Creator. Now, what does that mean when it says and worship and serve the creature more than the Creator? Now, as blacks and Latinos, you know what you do? You serve the white man. You serve the oppressor. You don't serve God. When you go out there and you live that homosexual lifestyle, you're serving the oppressor. When you go out there, you know what I mean, and think it's all right to abort your babies, you're really serving the oppressor. When you go out there and you smoke weed or smoke crack or smoke anything, guess what? You're serving the oppressor. You're serving the oppressor more than the Creator, man. You don't want to do what God said to do. No, you want to serve your oppressor. That's why Christ said that no man can serve two masters, whether you will hate the one and love the other. And you hate the Most High and you love the oppressor. Read on, Barzo.
God, who is blessed forever. Amen.
Go ahead.
For this cause, God gave them up unto vile affection.
For this cause, right? Because our people wanted to be disobedient, because our people wanted to be follow after the oppressor and do what the oppressor wanted to do. You wanted to be homosexual. You wanted to go out there and smoke weed. You wanted to go out there and live like these heathens. God gave us up to vile affections. What is a vile affection? You know, vile is something that's disgusting, something that's revolting, something that is just unseemly, uncanny. Like God gave us up to disgusting things. And you see these disgusting things here in America. Like, Lord be with everybody that has children. Because you have to monitor everything that our babies do and see. Because it's nothing out there but pornography, sex, you know what I mean, homosexuality, murder, and all this other garbage. You have to really be like, yo, what are you looking at? What are you playing? What are you watching? Like, I'll never forget that story about those parents, man. It was these parents down south. I believe it was in Georgia, man. These parents sued their school district. They're like, young man, imagine your sons coming home, right, with rainbow flags and rainbow bags. And they say, yeah, we went on this field trip without you getting a permission slip to send your kids to a fucking pride parade. You would be beyond heated. That's what happened. They took our babies to a pride parade. That happened without the consent of the parents. So now our brothers and sisters got to tell their children what they just went to and saw was completely wrong and disgusting. Now those babies need real counseling. And the parents too. Because if it had been my babies, Barzal, you best believe I'd have blew the school up. I'm trying to tell you, it'd have been rough. It'd have been rough. Go ahead, Will.
It's sad because the thing on how like people think of the world, I'm pretty sure when they try to explain it to them, they still try to make it seem like it's okay, let people be what they want to be. Pretty sure that was like a talk or whatever it is maybe they had. Because they didn't want to offend nobody, nor they want the kids going to the school or try to offend other people. So, yeah, I feel like just even that breakdown to try to break it down to them and try to try not to jump on the other side. Like, I don't like this. I ain't with that. I feel like, yeah, that breakdown probably was tough to him too.
Brother, I'll tell you a personal story. My niece, right? My youngest niece. Maybe she's 12 or 13. Her little homegirl was getting into it. Her homegirl, you know what I mean, looked at her like they were actually girlfriend and girlfriend. My niece was going through it, you know what I mean, psychologically. My mother tried to talk to her. Her mother, you know what I mean? My cousin, who's a pastor, he tried talking to her. And then they was like, well, you know your diet, she'll listen to you. She respects you. You know what I mean? And I sat her down and told her. They sitting up there trying to sugarcoat like, it's okay, baby. I'm like, no, forget that. God said that homosexuality was wrong, that it's an abomination. God put our people to death for this thing. Like, those feelings, man, are wrong. You know what I mean? It is not natural. It is not canny. It is unseemly. It is a vile affection. And my niece ended up breaking down and crying, man, and she understood. And she got it. She received it. She knows what I was saying was correct, man. But the Christian church, the way they try to sugarcoat things, like, oh, it's all right. No, it is not all right, man. That's why more homosexuals come out of that Christian church and Muslim mosque than anywhere else. And you wonder why they act the way that they act. That's why the ISUPK under Commanding General Yohana is needed, man. Because we can fix the problem that plagues Blacks, Latinos, and First Nation men and women, man. It can really fix our children, our brothers, our sisters, man. Because our people need it. They need it. Like, we got to stop playing around and sugarcoating this stuff, man. It is an abomination to God. Everybody's walking on goddamn eggshells trying to be politically correct, man. Commander Yohana checked the hell out of me one time politely, if that makes sense. He's like, Yediah, we politically wrong. We are. Over here, everywhere, the UPK, it is us against the world, man. We are politically wrong. But that's all right. Because our God's word stands true, Black man, Latino man, First Nation man and woman. I'd rather be on the wrong side of the oppressor than the wrong side of the Most High. I pray you understand that. Read on, Barzo.
Oh, God. For even their women did change the natural use into that which is against nature.
Even the women did change their natural use of that which is against nature. Now you got two women together. Now you got two sisters, man. And I get it. I understand. Believe it or not, I do. Sis, I understand, you know what I mean, that you didn't understand that sex was marriage. I understand that you may have been molested, man. And it was a horrible thing. But you cannot, you know what I mean, do something so unseemly and go get with another woman. Like, the hell are you going to do? You don't understand how foolish you look? All that tail running around with another tail bars on? Talking about pull my boxers down, homie. Nah. No, sis. Better get that tail to bars on. Better give it to Will. Better give it to Marah. Better stop giving it to, man. Listen, it's going to end up with that monkeypox. Listen, man, I seen the videos. Like, a lot of y'all wear, listen, and you know what's crazy, Will? The mask is making a comeback. Not because of COVID. I know what's under that mask. You got that monkeypox. Listen, man, that's a rough one. Listen, and the Lord is saying right here, man, in Romans, the 1st chapter and the 26th chapter, for even their women did change their natural use into that which is against nature. Because it is against nature for a woman to be with another woman. Naturally, sister, you want to be with a brother. You do. You do. You can pretend all you want. You can say, and this is what I don't understand, Will, so y'all gonna have to help me out. Y'all sit up there and say, men ain't this, men ain't that. I got my girl, she's with me. But you going home to Will. you laying up with my brother. Not saying he doing that, but listen, listen. These sisters got to get reformed some type of way. Got to get them off that. Got to get them off of that. You know what I mean? Understand this. Naturally, you want to be with a man. You are really fighting against nature. You're fighting against yourself. You need a man. You need a brother. Like it or not, like y'all claim to be so what is the politically correct term? Barzo. I'm trying. I really am. Let me say it like this. Y'all claim that you don't need no brother, that you're independent, you can do bad all by yourself. Fuck that. Understand this, Black woman, Latino woman, First Nation woman, you need somebody to tell you what to do. You need a brother to put you in your place. Because look at what happened with you being in charge, with you being the head of household. There ain't no household now. Brothers is gay, kids is outside wilding, but you good because you got a 401k and you making a couple dollars. No. You know how you rebuild that family? By that brother being your head, like Christ said, man. Like the Lord said. For the Lord is the head of Christ. Christ is the head of man, and the man is the head of woman. You want that house to be in order, you got to submit to that man. You can't be out here doing something unseemly with these other women, man. Going what's against nature. Read on.
God. And likewise, also the men.
And likewise, also the men. You brothers too. You brothers out here, man, and it is disgusting. It is a damn shame. Like Will, brothers is wearing hoochie mama shorts in 2022. Hoochie mama shorts. Sisters is walking around confused. Like, what is going on? You sitting up here looking for your shorts so you can go to the beach and your man got your shorts on. God damn, brother, that's a rough one. Go ahead.
It's called Hoochie Day.
Hoochie. Now, brother, Black man, Latino man, First Nation man, it is unseemly. Likewise, also the men. Now you don't want a woman, you want another brother. It is an evil thing, man. It is an evil thing. Like Osterwalk brought out a crazy stat at camp a couple months ago. There is 90,000 more women than men in Philadelphia alone. That is a lot of lonely women out there. Why? Because brothers is either in jail or they gay. And you looking for straight brothers. And if you a sister, you looking at the wrong place. Because all the straight brothers is in the UPK. All the heterosexual men are in the ISUPK, sister. That's where we at. We here. We ain't going nowhere. You're not going to find it outside in the world. You think, this is what's so sad, right? You think because you in that Christian church that you got that good old Christian man that treats you nice, that talks sweet to you. Sis, his sneaky link is another man. Like, am I making something? Am I making this up? Am I making this up? Like, goddamn. Likewise, also the men. Like, and if you look at the church, if you look at these pastors, man, I was looking at T.D. Jakes in class one time, Barzo. I put up a picture. Bob put up a picture of T.D. Jakes. Kirk Franklin was sitting on that brother's lap. And then we wonder why Kirk Franklin's son is lashing out the way that he is. Likewise, also the men. Go ahead, Will.
It's crazy. I just seen two homosexual pastors on Instagram. It was a sheer, if I'm not mistaken. But they were just going at it. Both of them. Two pastors, homosexual pastors. They were going at it.
Brother, I believe all pastors are gay. You just got to look at it like this. You calling yourself a pastor, I just assume that you have had a rod or will have a rod in your life. Because that's all the church produces. That's all they do. They got the same Bible we got. They got a King James Bible in there. I don't want to hear that, it was the Old Testament. I showed you in Leviticus that God said it was an abomination. I showed you in Malachi where God said he doesn't change. And I'm showing you in Romans, the 1st chapter, and the 26th and 27th verse, that God is still against homosexuality. But if you Christians were as righteous as you say you are, there would be no homosexuality in the Black, Latino, and First Nation community. But you're not. All of y'all are on the down low. It's a lot. Even your fake Israelite groups, I know what y'all do. Purple Rain, man, you know what I mean? When they not getting beat up by them big steppers in that Christian church, Barzal, they said it like they leaders sending pictures of his rod to his congregation. Like, goddamn. Goes to show you, man. Likewise, also the men. Read on.
Oh God. Leaving the natural use of the woman.
Now you leaving the natural use of the woman. Now you don't want that sister. And it is an evil thing. And let me explain something to every unfortunate sister that thinks this way. You think having a gay friend is so cute. You think having a little homosexual buddy is so fun that it is amusing. You dumb. Don't you know that he hates you? He wants to be you. Who do homosexual men emulate the most? Silly Black and Latina women. They really hate you. You think they being your friend. They're not. They cannot stand you. Better wake up. It says, likewise, also the men leaving the natural use of the woman. Now, they don't want to get, you know what I mean? They don't want to tear fire to a woman. Now they looking at each other, Barzal. God damn. It's a damn shame. Read on.
Oh God. Burn in their lust one toward another.
Burn in their lust one toward another. Now, you lusting after other men. Now you looking at other brothers. And listen, man, it is an evil thing, man. And a lot of you brothers, man, if I can speak to you simple brothers online, man, because I see y'all in that incel community. A lot of y'all brothers on Twitter and TikTok and Clubhouse. I seen some of the, Barzal, you've been in some of these rooms where brothers be hating sisters, man. Talk about, oh, these women ain't this. These women ain't that. You know what I mean? We don't need them. A lot of you silly Negroes and them fake Israelites, I heard a brother say, we don't need Eve, man. We can do it with the other nations. You are evil, wicked bastards, man. Don't you understand that our women are just as destroyed as we are? And whose job is to teach them? It's our job. That's why this life of a soldier ain't for everybody, man. Everybody wants to teach. Everybody wants to be a leader, but you don't want to be disciplined yourself. You don't want to take the time to learn yourself. That's why I commend every brother, every sister, that come into the ISUPK under Commander Jonah Yohana, because it is not an easy thing. The Lord has to pick you. The Lord has to choose you, man. Because a lot of y'all go online and you just start hating sisters too, hating on brothers, but not to the extent that brothers do it. You brothers take it way too far. You start movements, man. You know what I mean? Like Kevin Samuels was what they like to call us, that's a cult leader. Like that man, you know what I mean, Barzal, like what y'all think a cult is, that's what that was. Like y'all following after that man, and that man hated sisters, man. Hated sisters. An effeminate brother in his own right, man. I pray that brother rise again in this truth, man, and become a righteous brother. But understand this, he was wrong. You brothers that follow after that is wrong. Because you think, oh man, she should just bow down to me. You know what I mean? I slid in 20 Instagram models DMs. You know what I mean? Why ain't they giving me attention? Forget them. What about the everyday sister that you walk past every day and don't say nothing to? You know, they need Rod too. You know what I mean? They need a man too. You got to stop Black, Latino, and First Nation, man. Get with them sisters, man. It's our job to raise these sisters up. And sisters, man, you don't let it go into your head. The Lord said that he would make a man more precious than fine gold. That man is your head. And brother, you got to be patient, man. You got to be patient, you know what I mean, with these sisters, man. Because they are just as destroyed as us, but they are the weaker vessel. It is not an excuse to put them away, you know what I mean, to go get the oppressor's daughter. It's not an excuse to put them away and go get these heathens' daughter or go get another brother. Nah, man. That's why the Lord said, likewise, also the men, leaving the natural use of the woman, burning their lust one toward another. Read on.
God. Men with men, working that which is unseemly.
Working that which is unseemly. You know what that is? That is unseemly. That homosexuality. Man with man, woman with woman. And let me show you something. There is a penalty for that, and it's called monkeypox. You want to see the monkeypox in the Bible? I can show it to you. Young man, Will, you got what I asked for? Or is our whole Galatians chapter 6 and verse 8? But give me Exodus chapter 9, Will, and start at verse 8.
Oh God, this is the book of Exodus, chapter 9, verse 8.
Go ahead.
And the Lord said unto Moses and unto Aaron.
Now the Lord said unto Moses and unto Aaron, meaning the Lord is the one that told Moses this. The Lord is the one that gave instruction to Moses, man, Mashal, and to Aaron. Read on.
Take to you handfuls of ashes of the furnace.
Take a handful of ashes of the furnace. Read on.
And let Moses sprinkle it towards the heaven in the sight of Pharaoh.
In the sight of Pharaoh. The Lord said, listen, Moses, go up there, take the ashes from this furnace, man, and sprinkle it, up unto Pharaoh. Read on. Hey, Barzo. Get some coke. Go ahead.
And it shall become small dust in all the land of Egypt.
It shall become small dust all in the land of Egypt. I appreciate it. Now, it said it's going to become the small dust. Read it again from the top, open show.
And it shall become small dust in all the land of Egypt.
And it shall become a small dust unto the land of Egypt. And the Lord told Moses, go ahead, man, take these ashes, man. Take it and then throw it up, to Egypt. The Lord is telling Moses this so the Egyptians and everybody can know that the Most High is the one that's about to send this plague. That the Lord is the one that is doing this to them. Read on.
And shall be a boil breaking forth with a flame.
A what?
A boil breaking.
A boil breaking, brother. Now, brother, guess what? Now, this is a plague that the Lord brought upon the Egyptians, man. Because Pharaoh did not want to let us go. Like, you got to understand, man, that America is spiritually Sodom and Egypt, man. Moses went to the Most High. The Most High sent Moses, man, to come get us, man, liberate us. That the Lord said, man, that Moses was going to do wonders, man. You know what I mean? In his name. The Most High sent Moses back to Egypt. Moses, Mashal, went up to Pharaoh and said, yo, let us go, man. Let my people go. And then just let us go out in the wilderness for 3 days and serve our God. You know what Pharaoh said? Y'all niggas need more work. You got more time on your hands. Does that not sound familiar? Like if y'all not ever went to your oppressor at your slavery, your elevator plantation and asked for a day off and they give you more hours. Is that only just happened to me? That happens to our people, man. That's how you know we are those people. Wow, I appreciate you. Now understand this, man. The Lord told Moses, man, go on down to Pharaoh. Tell him, tell him what I said. Let our people go. Let the Israelites go. Pharaoh got stiff-necked, man. The Lord hardened Pharaoh's mind, man. It's hard. He ain't want to do it. And guess what? Wow. I appreciate it. Now, guess what? Now, the Lord told Moses, go up there, take them ashes, sprinkle it up, so they will know that I'm the one that is doing this. And now boils is appearing on the bodies of these Africans, these Hamites. That goes to show you that the Most High Yahweh is a terrible power. Like, goddamn. Like, you got to understand the Egyptians was living nice, all that gold and everything, living, thinking everything was cool, and then you wake up with the goddamn monkeypox. Good night, brother. That's a rough one. That's a rough one. Read on.
God. Breaking forth with blains upon man.
Man, listen, black man, Latino man, First Nation man and woman, said this. It said it shall be a boil breaking forth with blains upon man. Now, you got them boils blistering all over the faces and bodies of these Africans, man, and it's a rough one. It's rough. Pharaoh, too. The Lord did this to the Africans. But hold on, Will, I thought God loved everybody. I thought God wanted peace and prosperity for all nations. God did this to these Africans for what they have done to our people. Why do you think the monkeypox hit the oppressor first? Why do you think it plagued them first? Because God is dealing with this oppressor right now. The Most High is dealing with them. And unfortunately, man, he's dealing with the unruly of our people as well. When this plague should specifically be for these other nations. We're supposed to see these plagues happen to these other nations and go, whew. I guess, man, this is a bad time to be a homosexual. It's a lie. Like what? Like you should understand. You see that. You be like, man, there is a God in Israel. We read it right here in the Bible. That these boils will be laying across their bodies, man. Just imagine. That's what you see now. I know y'all seen some of these monkeypox pictures. Brother, they rough. One sister, man, I was like, damn, man, that's rough. All on her face, lips, hands. Had some gay brother on Instagram will talking about, oh, it's not just a gay disease. I got it too. Me in the car went on the brother's page. The brother wearing hoochie daddy shorts. I was in the car. I was like, this nigga trying to insult our intelligence. Nigga, you gay. It's a lie. Understand this, man. The Lord is the one plaguing them, man. Go ahead, Will.
Let's see into that whole threesome where you got 2 girls. And you want to roll that track? You want to go that?
I'm not ruling none of that out. I'm not, and it's probably the other threesome. My brother. That's a rough one. That's a rough one, man. But go ahead.
It's crazy. Like the people at my job, they like really, like, what's that, guarding up. Like they doubling the gloves and everything at my job. It's just like.
And the thing is,
they ain't even do research. They ain't looked that up. They don't know nothing but it's just.
You know what amazed me, Will? You know what really amazed me? When the coronavirus vaccine came out, everybody turned into scholars, looking up everything. The monkeypox came out, they lined up at 2 a.m. I'm not making this up. I have the story right here. As a matter of fact, let me read this story for you real quick. Let me get back to the scripture, of course, but let me read this story for y'all because, Will, this right here, right? I read this out and was like, yo, y'all stood up and was like, oh, that coronavirus vaccine is pork in it. It's unlawful. You know, they created in a lab. This is CNN. It says gay men are lining up as early as 2 a.m. for monkeypox vaccines. Many leave empty-handed. You're not questioning was in that vaccine. You really terrified. Well, let me tell you something else that's terrifying. Israel. We serve the God that sent the monkeypox and the coronavirus. And it's another one coming. Oh, it ain't over. It ain't over. It ain't gonna stop here. The Lord got something else coming for these people, man. That's why it's high time to stop doing these things, man. To stop being a sexual deviant. Stop being a homosexual, man. They line it up at 2 a.m. When, guess what? Every Black, Latino, and First Nation man and woman, you need to be lining up and coming into this truth, man. Under command of General Yohanan and ISUPK, of course. Go ahead, Will.
I could too. It's crazy because if you think about it, that was it LGBTQ community thing, or even just being gay, that's so strong because it's like if they tell you like the cause of this is because you being a homosexual, it's like, all right, well, why still be a homosexual? You rather go get a shot that you don't know nothing about.
Not to cut you off, but you just said something that was heavy. You would think, right, because they have monkeypox, you got the monkeypox, you got AIDS, that you should stop what you were doing. That you should stop being a homosexual. That you should stop doing that, right? It never crossed their mind. You'll get a vaccine. but you won't cut out the evil that is homosexuality. You won't cut out the wrong that you're doing. It never crossed your brain that God does not want you to be like this. But instead, you'll line up at 2 a.m. for the vaccine for the monkeypox and leave empty-handed. Black man, Latino man, First Nation man and woman, the cure for this monkeypox, if you are a gay, Black, Latino, First Nation man and woman, is changing and stop being a homosexual and coming into the ISUPK, man. You want to cleanse yourself? You want to clean yourself up? You do it by coming back into this truth, man. That's how you do it. Yo, doorbell, right? Read it again from the top of where you were. Matter of fact, read it again from the top of the show.
It's the book of Exodus, chapter 9, verse 9. And it shall become small dust in all the land of Egypt, and shall be a boil breaking forth with lands upon man.
Hey, shalom, sis. Y'all shema. It shall become a boil bland. Meaning this, now them boils is breaking out on them Hamites, man. Just like how they're breaking out on homosexuals now. Read on.
And upon beasts throughout all the land of Egypt.
And upon the beast, man, oh man. I think I'll be hurt, sis. You know what I mean? These cattle and these chickens start getting monkeypox. I think I would be devastated. You know what I mean? Go ahead, sis. We are in Exodus, the 9th chapter and the 9th verse. It said not just the men, but the beast too. Wait till the beast start getting these diseases too. Go ahead, brother. You want to say something?
Sorry, I was going to say we at the top of 10 if you want me to keep on going.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, you're at the top. Yeah, Exodus chapter 9 and verse 10. Now, bobbity. Yeah, keep reading. Read verse 11.
Slide to 2, verse 11 or 11.
Yeah, keep reading.
Verse 10. And they took ashes of the furnace and stood before Pharaoh. And Moses sprinkled it upon toward the earth. And Moses sprinkled it up towards heaven.
Now, and they took these ashes of the furnace, right, before Pharaoh, meaning Moses and Aaron went before Pharaoh so he could see them do this. Why did they do this in front of him? Because the Most High wanted Pharaoh to know that this plague that's coming down on him, that it was God that did it. And that's what our people need to understand, that the Most High is the one that sent this monkeypox. He's the one that did it. It wasn't made out of some laboratory. It was not made in some, it wasn't made by the Russians. No. Y'all gotta stop smoking that weed, man. God created the coronavirus, swine flu, and the monkeypox. All of these diseases that you see, they are pestilence and plagues from the Most High. Now, they did this in front of Pharaoh so Pharaoh can know God is getting ready to do this to you. Read on.
And it became a boil breaking forth with blains upon man.
Now, this happened to Pharaoh and them Africans. Now, they got them hard boils appearing all over their faces and their bodies. Ooh-wee. Ooh-wee. Go ahead, read on.
Verse 11.
And the magicians. Yeah, verse 11. Go ahead.
Verse 11. And the magicians could not stand before Moses because of the boils. For the boils was upon the magicians and upon all the Egyptians.
Now, when it says that the magicians could not stand before Moses, Africans have their, like when you see Africans and their charlatans with them being shamans and all that garbage, all that voodoo and all that garbage, you know what I mean, and that witchcraft that they had. Today it's brothers and sisters burning sage and worshiping the universe. Guess what? Them Africans had that too. They could not stand up before Moses and Aaron. They could not stand up before the Most High because that plague fell upon them too. It was like, oh shit, what's going on right here? They couldn't. They couldn't. You had con men back then, and guess what? God showed them something. As a matter of fact, Barzal, hold what you got in Galatians. Matter of fact, let's go to what you got, Barzal, in Galatians chapter 6 and verse 8. Young man Will, give me Isaiah chapter 47 and verse 3.
This is the book of Galatians, chapter 6 and verse 8.
Go ahead.
For he that soweth to his flesh,
He that soweth to his flesh. Meaning you doing what your flesh wants to do. You want to be a filthy, disgusting sexual deviant. You want to be a homosexual. You want to be in lesbianism. What you sow to your flesh, read on.
shall of the flesh reap corruption.
And now shall the flesh reap corruption. What does it mean that the flesh reap corruption? Monkeypox, disease, pestilence. You want to be a homosexual? You want to live that promiscuous alternative lifestyle? You are about to reap what you sow. You're going to reap evil and corruption. Guess what? It's going to come back upon you. That's why God did not want us or intend us to live like them. That's why the Lord had to tell us when we came out of Egypt, don't do what the Egyptians do. Don't be a homosexual. Don't worship cattle. Like, sis, ancient Egyptians believed that if a woman could not get pregnant, that they would have to go down to the Nile, grab the crocodile dung, feces, and rub it down there in your vagina, and then you get it on, and then you can have a baby. That's science, according to Africans. Yeah, that's science, according to them. That's why a righteous black man, Abraham, had to go into Egypt and say, yo, y'all are all off. So everything that you see and read, I'll go into this in a previous class with the Josephus. Abraham had to give you a summary. Abraham went into Egypt, man, and had to teach them, gave them knowledge and arithmetic, man, had to tell them what they were doing and worshiping was wrong because these other nations can't govern themselves. They don't have no real knowledge, and we're the real suckers because we look at them like they have the high standards of morality. You looking at Nufutu Nungala, the Black Panther, and Namor, you looking at Musa like they are intelligent. They're slow. They are slow and lazy too. Like, good night. You're not letting that happen to you, sis. And brother, you're not going down there and doing that. They are a disgusting, filthy people, man. And that's the lifestyle that they live. And if you want to live like that, guess what? What you sow to your flesh, that which ye shall reap. That corruption you are going to have to reap. Black man, Latino man, First Nation man and woman. You could be a homosexual if you want to. You could be a sexual deviant if you want to. Like, I thought AIDS, brother, and HIV would have scared homosexuals to the point of, yo, this is not what we need to do. But like you said, Will, it never crossed their mind, especially if you're a brother or sister, to turn from that evil, to turn from that wickedness, man. It says, for he that soweth to his flesh shall the flesh reap corruption. Read on, Barzal.
God. But he that soweth to the Spirit.
But he that soweth to the Spirit. He that soweth to the Spirit. Meaning if you are a brother and a sister and you sow to your spirit by coming to class, stop eating shrimp, crab, pork, and lobster. Stop doing every evil and wicked thing that you did in the world. What you sow to your spirit, read on.
Of the Spirit reap life everlasting.
And so the Spirit shall reap life everlasting. What is life everlasting? Everlasting life, man, is this. Life, first of all, is the law. Keeping these laws, statutes, and commandments, that is law. And I'll break that down for you in a second. We'll come right back to that. But that's what life is. You sow to your spirit, man, and guess what? You will reap everlasting life. But you got to keep doing what the Lord said to do. You got to change your life. Now, if I could, Isaiah chapter 47 and verse 3. Barzal, give me Deuteronomy chapter 30 and verse 15. But first, let me get what you got, Will.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 47, and verse 3. Thy nakedness shall be uncovered.
Thy nakedness shall be uncovered. Nakedness is shame. The shame of the oppressor in these other nations is being shown right now. The shame of what they've done to the North American Indian and Seminole Indian man and woman. The shame of what they have done to the Puerto Rican and Cuban and Mexican man and woman and black man and woman. Read on.
Yeah. They shame shall be seen.
They shame shall be seen. We see the shame that has become, of these other nations, man. The Lord is exposing them, man. We see the shame. We see Russia, invading the Ukraine. We see, with these other nations struggling because the Lord shut the economy down and shut the whole earth down with the coronavirus, man. We see it. We see how the Lord can send just a couple diseases and pestilence and just turn everything upside down. Read on.
I will take vengeance, and
The Lord said he will take what?
Vengeance.
The Lord said he will take vengeance. We don't have to go out and fight the oppressor with guns and knives. We don't have to go out there, and think we can win some carnal war against them. No. The Lord said that he will take vengeance. All we got to do is keep coming to class and keeping these laws, statutes, and commandments. Read on.
And I will not meet thee as a man.
And I will not meet thee as a man. The Lord said he would not meet you as a man. The problem is the oppressor thinks he can create the Star Wars Space Initiative. He thinks he can add to it by making the Space Force and making the image of that and the face of it, Pharaoh and the pyramids. They think they can go to war with the Most High and fight him. Guess what? The Lord said, I'm not going to meet you like a man. To put it in retrospect, like my brother Kalatazar would say, this ain't a fair one. Hebrew Academy 2022, we know that. Ours all know this is not a fair one. This is not what you think it's about to be. The Lord said, I'm not about to meet you like a man. You want to make a Space Force? Monkeypox. You want to keep, thinking you can come up against me? COVID. Keep playing with the Most High if you want to. I pray you understand. That's why we have to seek everlasting life. And what is life? Before we get to that, Barzal, young man Will, give me Baruch chapter 4, verse 1. In the Apocrypha. Give me Baruch 4 and 1. Well, we need to realize if you don't have one, he can use mine. You got it, Will? Most High Christ. Life is this. And the Lord is about to explain it, man. Go ahead. Yeah, Baruch chapter 4 and verse 1. The water priest, the water warrior, I appreciate it. But we need to realize, right? You think living your best life is being a homosexual. You think living your best life is smoking that weed and being a whore and a whoremonger. Let me show you what life is according to God. Read.
This is the book of Baruch, chapter 4, verse 1. This is the book of the commandments of God.
This is the book of the commandments of God. Meaning this entire book, this Bible, not just the book of Baruch and the Apocrypha, this entire Bible from Genesis to Revelations, this is the book of the commandments of God. Read on.
And the law that endureth forever.
And the law that endureth forever. Not a short while, not a little bit, not for 5 minutes, forever. Meaning we have to keep keeping these laws, statutes, and commandments, man. We have to endure to the end. And these laws, statutes, and commandments ain't going nowhere. I read earlier in Malachi, the 3rd chapter, in the 6th verse, that God said, I change not. Christ said himself in Matthew, the 5th chapter, in the 17th verse, think not that I have come to destroy the law or the prophets. For I have not come to destroy, but to fulfill. Then Christ showed us how to actually do it, how it's done. For the law that endure forever. Meaning we got to keep these laws, statutes, and commandments forever. Read on.
All they that keep it shall come to life.
All they that keep it. If you keep God's law, you will come to life. Our people now think you're living your best life being a homosexual or a whore. Listen, man, the scriptures say in Proverbs 16 and 25, there's a way that seemeth right unto a man, but those ways are the ways of death. And not just the physical death. You could get that slow, that die slow. You could get that monkeypox, that HIV, that AIDS. You could be dead. And our people right now are the walking dead spiritually. Everybody is ready to gear up for some zombie apocalypse that is never going to happen. Guess what? It's already here. Our people as blacks and Latinos and First Nation men and women, we are the literal walking dead because we're not doing what God said to do. But if we keep God's commandments, we come to life. Read on.
But such as leave it shall die.
But if you leave God's laws, statutes, and commandments, you die. That's why our people are destroyed today, because we're not doing what the Lord said to do. That's why you see our homes dysfunctional. That's why, you know what I mean, everything is all out of whack and out of order, because now we're worshiping and serving the creature more than the creator. But our God said if we keep these commandments, we shall live. But if we don't, or we cease, we shall die. Now, a lot of our people, especially in the Christian church, you believe, right, that we have something called free will. Let me explain something to every Christian out there. There is no such thing as free will. There's no such thing. What do I mean by there's no such thing? Because you'll say God gave us free will. My question is, show me that in the Bible. Go ahead, brother.
Free will come with consequences.
Listen, brother, understand this. There ain't no such thing as free will. But the consequences that you're talking about, guess what? That's the punishment for not doing what God said to do. This is the best way I can explain it. If you don't have children, you'll have them eventually. Guess what? Are your kids going to tell you what to do in the house you paid for? Like, raise your hand if you ever recall a time where you felt comfortable going to mom and dad and saying, you know, mom and dad, I suggest this. You were never comfortable. It never came across your mind. Because you know, dad wasn't going for that. Mom wasn't going for that. My father used to say all the time, you ain't got to stand grumble. My mom used to say, don't let the door hit you on the way out. Like, for real. You going to let your child tell you something in the crib you pay for when you're their parents? That's the problem today, Barzal. You want to be your child's friend. You want to be their buddy, their comrade, their companion, their buddy, their best friend. No, that is not how this works. It is not how this works. Black man, Latino man, First Nation man and woman, it goes to show you how out of whack things are. So why the hell would you think God would say, hey, you know, you keep these commandments, you know what I mean, you'll be blessed. But if you don't, you'll be cursed and you'll die. That ain't free will. I don't know what y'all got from that. That said, do what I say or die. That is what that is. And it ain't no different than living in a righteous father's house. And God is our Father. Now let me show you that there is no such thing as free will. Read Deuteronomy chapter 30 and start at verse 15.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 30, verse 15. See, I have set before thee this day life and good.
The Lord said that I set before thee this day life and good. The Lord set us down and said, Israel, Yasha'Allah, I'm setting before you life and good. What is life? Keeping the laws, statutes, and commandments. And good is the reward for keeping the laws, statutes, and commandments. Read on.
God. And death and evil.
And death and evil. Death is what comes when we leave these laws, statutes, and commandments. And the evil is the punishment for disobeying the law, statutes, and commandments. That's why in Isaiah, I believe it's Isaiah chapter 45 and verse 7, where it says, I form the light and create darkness. Meaning the Lord does this. The Lord created light and darkness. I make peace and create evil. I, the Lord, do all these things. The Lord creates peace, makes peace, and he creates evil. The peace is when we keep his laws, statutes, and commandments and dwell peacefully. But the evil is the judgments and the punishments that come when we disobey our God. So God set before us, black man, Latino man, First Nation man and woman, he said, I set before thee this day life and good, death and evil. Meaning this, you can keep God's commandments and be rewarded, or you cannot and you can be cursed and die. Does that sound like free will to you? Hell no. But why? Read on, Barzo.
Oh, God. And that I command thee this day to love the Lord thy God, to walk in his ways, and to keep his commandments.
The Lord said, in that day, I command thee. Is this free will? The Lord said, I command thee. Like y'all fathers, when Barzal tell one of his many children, he catching up to Czar Wild. Give me the remote. That wasn't a request. That wasn't an ultimatum where he could or could not, she could or could not. I mean, get up and get that damn remote. The Lord said, I command thee this day to love the Lord thy God. Meaning to love the Lord thy God is to do what God said to do. Because love is keeping his commandments. That's 2 John 1:6. And this is love, that we walk after his commandments. That's what love is. And to walk in his ways and keep his commandments. This is a precept for that. That's what the Lord commanded us to do. This wasn't no ultimatum. This wasn't no, oh, you could do this, baby, or not, and I'll still love you. No. God said, I command thee this day. Don't get caught up on thee. Thee is Old Quaker English for you. I command you, Israel, black man, Latino man, First Nation man and woman, to love the Lord thy God, to walk in his ways. Walking in the Lord's ways is keeping his commandments. To keep his commandments and his what?
And his statutes and his judgments.
And his statutes and his judgments. These statutes and these judgments, man, is keeping the law. Read on.
Oh, God. That thou mayest live.
That thou mayest what?
Live.
There go the Lord again, Barzal. You know what I mean? Look, well, sis, the Lord is saying that keeping the law is what? Life. You want to live? Keep God's commandments. Read on.
Oh, God. And multiply. And the Lord thy God shall bless thee in the land whither thou go to possess it.
He said it will bless thee in the land when thou goest to possess it, man. Meaning when we was coming out of Egypt, right, to go into our land, the Lord said if we kept his commandments, we would be blessed in going into our land and taking our land back, man. Read on.
Oh, God. But if thine heart turn away.
Now, when it says thy heart turn away, your heart is your mind. All this right here does is pump blood. Your heart is your mind. But if your mind turns away from God, read on.
So that thou wilt not hear, but shall be drawn away.
But you will not hear. You drawn away. You not hearing the Lord now. You drawn away from the Most High. So I used to always say, you raise your children up to be righteous, man. And your kids go over Billy's house. They go over Agatha's house. They go over Archibald's house. And they calling their mother a bitch to their face. And they saying, go home and tell your mother that she's a bitch. Go home and tell your father I don't got to follow his laws. I can listen to Bill and Bob and Archibald. You're going to feel some type of way that your child left the rules of your household to follow after the oppressors. That is essentially what happened to blacks and Latinos and First Nation men and women today. That's what happened. Read on.
Oh, God. And worship other gods and serve them.
Now you're worshiping other gods. Now you're in the Christian church, singing in tongues. Now you in the Muslim mosque. Talk about salami, eggs, and bacon. Salami, eggs, and bacon, brother. You talking about I ain't Willie no more. I ain't Tyree no more. I'm Abdul Rahim Suleiman Khalid Ahmed the Magnificent. Nigga, you following after your Arab daddy. You in the church screaming hallelujah, praying to a white oppressor with fat oppressor baby angels on the wall. Guess what? You're serving the oppressor. You're now a second-class citizen to the oppressor and or to the Arabs. When you keeping the God's laws, statutes, and commandments, you first class in his eyes, man. Read on.
God. I denounce unto you this day.
Now, the Lord said, I denounce unto you this day. Meaning, if we disobey him, the Lord was going to denounce us. What does it mean to denounce? Meaning this, you're dead to me. I'm done with you if you do this thing. And the thing is, we got to realize that the Lord shows the people, we better thank the Most High. That the Lord's mercy is his greatest attribute. The Lord can be hard. The Lord can be rough, like any father. But his greatest attribute is his mercy. That's why he gave us Christ. So Christ could die so we can come back to him. But he said, I denounce to you this day. Read on.
That ye shall surely perish.
He said that ye shall surely perish. Meaning, if you don't do what I tell you to do, you are going to perish. You're going to be out of here. You're going to die. Read on.
God. And that ye shall not prolong your days upon this land.
And that happened. Why are we not in our land now? Because we wanted to follow after the Babylonians, after the Assyrians, after the oppressor, the Edomites, after the Moabites, the Chinese, the Ammonites, the Japanese. Wanting to follow after Japhet, you know what I mean? The Polynesians and Tongans and Samoans. Following after Ishmael, the Arabs. Now we're not in our land. Now the oppressor is in our land right now. And we're in America in slavery. We're in the West Indian Islands in slavery. We're in Haiti and in the Isle of Hispaniola and San Domingo, you know what I mean, the Dominican Republic in captivity, in slavery. We're in slavery in South America. We're in slavery in Mexico, man, because the white man runs Mexico too. Don't be fooled. That's a conquistador that is El Presidente over there in Mexico. He ain't La Raza. He ain't the people. He ain't Hispanic. He ain't Issachar. He's an oppressor. We're in slavery everywhere. And not in our land because we chose death over life. And that's not free will. That is nowhere close. Who in a right mind is going to choose death? Stop it. And we're going to get to that in a second. Read on.
God. Whether thou passest over Jordan to go to possess it.
Now listen. Lord said, when I go, y'all try to go over Jordan to possess it, and you don't listen to me, you're going to die. I pray you understand. You're going to perish. Read on.
Oh God. I call heaven and earth to record this day against you.
Now, I want you to read this again, Barzal, because this is what silly Christians do not understand and why I am sick and tired of breaking down free will, even though I know I'm going to be breaking it down for the rest of my life. The Lord said, the Lord said, I call heaven and earth to record this day against you. Meaning, I want this to be documented. I want this to go on record. That's why the Lord said, I call heaven and earth to record this day against you, black man, Latino man, First Nation man and woman. Write it in a book, put it in your phone, write it on a wall, put it in something. Like the entire earth, heaven is going to record this, what I'm about to say to our people, man. This is what the Lord is saying. Read on.
God, that I have set before you life and death.
The Lord said, I have set before you life and death. But I know what you're probably thinking. But you're dying, that's free will. The Lord said, I set before you life and death. Meaning if I want to choose death, I can. It's still free will. Let's see about that. Read on.
Blessing and cursing.
Blessing and cursing. Maybe I want to be cursed. Maybe I want to choose being cursed when none of you in your right mind believe in your mind that you're cursed. Am I making this up, sis? If you go call any Christian in your context, what they gonna say? I'm blessed, baby. They don't even come across that they cursed. But they call you, you know, baby, I'm behind this life, Bill. You know, I just take it one day at a time. You know what I mean? It's rough out here. We're cursed right now because we're not doing what God said to do. And when we could have been blessed. It says blessing and cursing. Read on.
God. Therefore, choose life.
Therefore, what?
Choose life.
Choose what?
Life.
Is that free will? God told us, therefore, choose life. That's not free will. God told us to choose life. To choose to keep these laws, statutes, and commandments, man. There ain't no such thing as free will. The Lord said, choose life. Read them.
That both thou and thy seed
That you and your seed and your children to come, that thou and thy seed may live. That's what the Lord said. And I'll give you one more to nail it home. I gave it to you. I gave you life in Baruch, gave you life in Deuteronomy. Now let me give you the big one. Young man, Will, give me Ezekiel, the 37th chapter. Let me get Ezekiel chapter 37 and verse 1. I'm going to say it again. I'll be answering your questions tonight. Since you don't know any questions, do you? Go ahead. Before I get this scripture.
2 Timothy, chapter 3, verse 3.
2 Timothy 3 and verse 3.
Yeah. What does it mean by without natural affection?
Oh. Ironically, sis, we right on topic. Ain't that something, young man, Will? We right on topic. Since you came in right at the right time. As a matter of fact, young man, Will, let me get this first. Start at verse 1. Yes, give me 2 Timothy chapter 3 and start at verse 1. Because since you may not realize this, but I've been talking about this all night. This has been my topic for class. Let me start at verse 1. 2 Timothy chapter 3 and verse 1. Ain't that something? And it's about to tie into Ezekiel the 37th chapter. La Yasha Allah. Good stuff right here, Barzo. You can get some of this if you want, if there's any of it left. You know what I mean? I don't go near us, man. But let me get 2 Timothy chapter 3 and start at verse 1. Go ahead. Yeah, 2 Timothy, the 3rd chapter, and start at verse 1.
This is the book of 2 Timothy, chapter 3, verse 1. This known also that in the last days, what's this?
Perilous.
Can't get that out slightly, sir.
Perilous. Yeah, perilous.
Time shall come.
Perilous times shall come. Now, what is the definition of perilous? Perilous means full of danger or risk, exposed to imminent risk or disaster or ruin. That disastrous times will come. What are those disastrous times? In the last days. We in the last days right now. We in perilous times right now, Barzo. Read verse 2.
For men shall be lovers of their own selves.
Men shall be what?
Lovers of their own selves.
Men shall be lovers of their own selves. Now men want to love their own selves. Now men want to get with other men. Women want to get with other women. That's why the monkeypox is here. We're in the last times where these diseases and pestilences coming. Men shall be lovers of their own selves. Read on.
Covetous.
Covetous. What is covetous? You want what your brother has. Your brother got a nice car, you got to rob your brother to get that car. Your brother got some bread, you got to rob him for that money. Don't let your brother have a nice woman. Now you got to go steal his woman. You covetous, you're envy and jealous, and you want what your brother has. Read on. I just described everybody in the Christian church with these two scriptures right there. Well, just the beginning, and we ain't even halfway through. Let's keep going, Will. Boasters. That's your pastor. Boasting high and loud. Had Geno Jennings talk about, God gave me this church on this campus. God gave me all this. Understand this, man. When your pastor is an evil, wicked monster, man, boasting about all of his riches, boasting about all of his buildings and his financial assets, robbing the children of Israel blind, man. That's why in that scripture in Malachi, the 3rd chapter, bars all like I look at that now, right? This is in the announcements. Will a man rob God? Creflo Dollar said, "Hold on, nigga. Hold on." he must not have read that, sis. Because every pastor is for sure robbing God. Because these tithes belong to Commander General Yohanan ISUBK, the real priests and prophets of God. The pastor is a boaster. Read on.
Oh, God. Proud.
Proud, just proud. Got that pride to it. Read on.
Oh, God. Blasphemous.
Blasphemers. Blasphemers. Like you brought up something earlier, Will, talking about 2 homosexual pastors. That's blasphemous, man. That is real blasphemous. Saying that homosexuality is an alternative lifestyle, man. Saying that it's all right for the woman to rule over the man. That is blasphemous. Read on. Disobedient to parents.
Oh, God. Keep going.
Keep going. Keep going. Wait.
Oh, God. Disobedient to parents.
Mm-hmm.
Unthankful. Unholy.
Disobedient to parents. You're not listening to your father and your mother. You're not listening to the ISUPK because you want to go out there and do your own thing. You want to go out there and wear fringes on your t-shirts and say, you ain't the only ones with the truth. You ain't the only ones that got that truth. You disobedient to your parents, man. Unthankful, unholy. You unthankful for this life that the Most High gave us in these laws, statutes, and commandments. Unholy. Holy means to be separate. You want to join unto everybody. Read on.
Verse 3. Without natural affection.
Without natural affection. Barzal, give me Romans chapter 12 and verse 10. Without natural affection. Natural affection can come in many things, but it's particularly this. You being unbrotherly. This is the brotherhood class. You being unsisterly. That's what that comes. Now you don't have natural affection. That natural affection that you will have in being brotherly to another brother and being sisterly to another sister. A lot of you sisters don't know how to be a wife to your husband. A lot of you brothers don't know how to be a husband to your wife. Now, don't get me wrong. In this truth, man, you know what I mean? We prepare marriages. We prepare households in this truth, man, under command of General Yohana. And we do these things. You know what I mean? A lot of us are going to go through these things, especially coming into the truth. You may seem like my father turned his back on me. My mother turned her back on me. My brother, my sister, my husband, they turned their back on me. But the brothers and sisters and the priests and prophets and ISUPK will never do this. Because we have natural affection one to another. Because in the world, there is no natural affection. Sisters don't know how to be sisterly with each other in the world. You could have a homegirl that you grew up with for your entire life. The minute you decide to stop being a whore, the minute you decide to saying, I'm going to stay with this one man and I'm not going to give a damn if he goes out and gets another wife because he's good to me, your sister is going to be unaffectionate to you. She's going to look at you like you crazy and you in the car. Your brother, your homie, I'll give you a prime example. I came in here, Barzal can attest to this. I came in here with my man in the world, my homie, my best friend. I would have died for this brother. And he brought me here. I didn't want to come here. I had to fight myself to even walk through these goddamn doors. And General Mayock told us that we couldn't sleep with white whores and smoke weed and eat tuna. He cried out that day, Will, you might have been there. He was like, damn, he ain't been back since. There's no natural affection with our people in the world because they don't know how to do it. But in ISUPK, you have to be. You have to be Black man, Latino man, First Nation man and woman. Without natural affection, truce breakers, false accusers, incontent, fierce, despisers of those that are good, traitors. That's everything that our people are in the world. That's why we have to be that light and shine it upon them. That's why you can't just be Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua Barakatha, Yahweh Shema, Thumb Ba'Shem Yahushua, and here to one another. You got to extend that to them in the world. And they may hate you for it, but guess what? They're watching you. I have brothers tell me all the time, it may seem like they don't give a damn about you, but they watch every step that you make, and let's believe they admire you for it. They do, but they'll never admit it. That's why you could not fold, that you got to stand strong on this truth. Let me get Romans chapter 12 and verse 10 bars on.
This is the book of Romans chapter 12 and verse 10. Be kindly affectionate one to another.
Be what?
Be kindly affectionate one to another.
Be kindly affectionate one to another. There was a time where as Blacks and Latinos, there was no division. Between First Nation and Seminole Indian men and women and Black and Latinos, there was no division. We were kindly affection one to another. And we are kindly affection one to another here in the ISUPK, man. This is the only place that you will see blacks, Latinos, and First Nation men and women dwelling peacefully, man. That's why the Lord tells us it is not just for us in here. Extend this to our brothers and sisters in the world, man. I know they got some assholes amongst our people. Forgive them. That's what Christ meant when he said, forgive your enemies. It's talking about the enemies amongst your people, not these other nations. We have to be kindly affection one to another. We have to know how to talk and deal with each other as blacks and Latinos and First Nation men and women, man. We got to understand that we are family, black man, Latino man, and First Nation man and woman. Nosotros somos familia. We are family. We are the same. We are the same people. And we have to be kindly affection one to another. Read on.
With brotherly love.
With what?
Brotherly love.
With brotherly love. Brotherly love, man. This. You're not going to find brotherhood in the world. You're not going to find brotherhood outside these doors. But you'll find it here in the ISUPK. Now is the time for us to extend that brotherhood back out to our people so they can come into this truth. So they can say, damn, they love one another in there. They never betray each other. They down with one another. That's why Christ had to say when his mother and his brothers and sisters came to him at camp, Peter and them was like, yo, Christ, your family, your folks here. He said, who is my mother? Who is my father? Those that do the will of the Most High. Not saying that they can't, but you got to be that light to them. Be kindly affection one to another with brotherly love. Meaning this, brotherhood is important, black man, Latino man, and woman, and we must have it between our people. Brotherhood is a weapon. This is the one thing that we have that these other nations fear the most. You want to know how you scare an oppressor? Blacks and Latinos and First Nation men and women dwelling peacefully together on one accord, serving our God. That's brotherly love. Read on.
In honor, preferring one another.
In honor, preferring one another. We have to learn to prefer each other again. In ISUPK, we prefer one another. I prefer Barzo. I prefer Will. I prefer you, sis. I prefer to dwell with my own. And it extends, man, to our people preferring one another. When the black man learns to prefer the Latino man and woman instead of Africans and the oppressor, and when Latinos learn to prefer that Seminole Indian and First Nation and black man and woman over the oppressor in these other nations, we will be unstoppable. That's why the ISUPK and the Commander General Yohana is essential, because we are building this. We are building Christ's kingdom right now with brotherly love and honor, preferring one another. That's what it means to have real affection towards your brother and your sister. You have to prefer one another. You have to prefer to be with that black man, that Latino man, that First Nation man and woman with honor, with affection and brotherly love. That answer your question, sis? Most High in Christ. Most High in Christ. Well, let me get one last scripture. Well, let me get two more. Or it's all old John chapter 2, 2 John 1 and 6. Will, give me Ezekiel chapter 37 and verse 1. I'm going to skip you down a couple, Will, but let me get that biblical show. Yeah, give me Ezekiel 37.
This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 37. The hand of the Lord was upon me and carried me out in the spirit of the Lord and set me down in the midst of the valley which was filled of bones.
Now, the Lord took Ezekiel, right? Ezekiel was a priest and prophet of the Lord. Set him in a valley which was full of bones. Read on.
And caused me to pass by them around about. And behold, there were very many in the open valley. And lo, they were very dry.
They were very dry. I mean, he's in a valley with nothing but dry, dead bones. Read on.
And he said unto me, Son of man, can these bones live?
Now, he said unto me, the Lord said to Ezekiel, Son of man, term that, you know what I mean, we used back then. The Lord said, son of man, can these bones live? Now, we know what life is. We know what living is. Keeping the law, statutes, and commandments. Read on.
Okay. And I answered, O Lord God, thou
Oh,
knowest.
Lord God, thou knowest. Read on.
Again he said unto me, prophesy upon these bones, and say unto them, O ye dry bones, hear the words of the Lord.
He said, prophesy unto these dry bones, man. Meaning prophesy. Tell them about, you know what I mean, the law, statutes, and commandments, man. Prophesy, you know what I mean, the books of the commandments of God, this Bible. Prophesy unto these bones. Read on.
Okay. Verse 5. Thus said the Lord God unto these bones, behold, I will cause breath to enter into you.
I will cause what?
Breath.
Breath. We know that breath, man, is life. The same breath that was given Adam, because Adam was not created, you know what I mean, from literal dust. Adam was a man walking in a low state, and the Lord gave him breath, meaning the law, statutes, and commandments. Meaning Adam was given the truth, given the law. He was given life. Read on.
Okay. And I will cause breath to enter into you.
I will cause breath to enter into you. Meaning this, man. Now, breath has entered into these dry bones, man. Drop down to verse 10.
Okay. Verse 10. So I prophesied as he commanded.
Mm-hmm.
So
Now he prophesied like the Lord commanded him to, man. Read on.
So I prophesied as he commanded me, and the breath came into them, and they lived.
Now he prophesied unto them, and they lived. Now he prophesied unto these dry bones, and now they are living. Read on.
And stood up upon their feet, and exceeded great army.
Now, what stood up before Ezekiel, you know what I mean, in the Most High, was an exceedingly great army. Read on. Let's find out who this army is.
Okay, verse 11. Then he said unto me, Son of man, these bones are the whole house of Israel.
These bones are the what?
Whole house of Israel.
These bones is the whole house of Israel. Because, you know what I mean, the Lord commanded Ezekiel to prophesy unto these dry bones, and he did. Now, that whole house of Israel, which was dead, which was dry bones, and now that breath, the law, statutes, and commandments being prophesied unto them, now they stood as an exceedingly great army. The whole house of Israel, man. And which is important, man, for us to realize as Blacks, Latinos, and First Nation men and women. You could drop that, Barzal. I want you to get this instead. Give me 1 Peter, right? Give me 1 Peter chapter 2 and verse 17. This is what we have to realize as the Lord's chosen people, man. That breath that was brought, you know what I mean, from the Most High, that came unto us, that's his law, statutes, and commandments. When we keep his law, we get life. That's why I brought up in Deuteronomy, the 30th chapter, we have to choose life. The Lord commanded us to choose life over death. That's not free will. Because if you don't, you will continue to die just like everybody else. Rotting away with monkeypox on your face, coronavirus, AIDS, HIV, other pestilence and diseases that's coming. But this is something that we all have to do as Blacks, Latinos, and First Nation men and women in the ISUPK. Read what you got, Barzal.
This is the book of 1 Peter, chapter 2, and verse 17.
Go ahead.
Honor all men.
Honor all men, meaning give honor to all men. You have to show every brother and sister, man, that just because they think you just one of them crazy niggas in that cult in the UPK, you in the hate group, I understand all that garbage. You have to give honor to all men. You have to show them that you are not, you know what I mean, what they think you are in they simple, stupid minds. Give honor to all men. Even these heathens, man, show them that we are better than they ever could even dream of being. Give honor unto all men. Read on.
Love the brotherhood.
Love the brotherhood, man. You got to love this brotherhood Because there is no brotherhood or sisterhood outside of these walls, outside of the ISUPK and the Commander General Yohana. You better love this brotherhood. I pray you understand. You ain't gonna find it nowhere else. Read on.
Fear God.
Fear God. The problem is we don't fear God. We fear the oppressor. We fear these other nations. You need to learn to fear the Most High. Because the Lord said, for the fear of the Most High is the beginning of knowledge. You think you're knowledgeable and you're smart? You better fear God. I pray you understand. Go ahead.
Honor the king.
Honor the king. Honor Christ. Honor Yahweh Shah Mashiach. Christ did not give up his life so you can continue to be a simple homosexual. Christ did not die so you can continue to be a murderer or a whoremonger. Christ died so we can have the opportunity to turn back to our God, to be able to honor all men, to love the brotherhood, to love the ISUPK and the Commander General Yohana, to fear the Most High, and to give honor back to our King because he deserves it. That's what we must do as Blacks, Latinos, and First Nation men and women. I pray you understand. And with that being said, this is the Tuesday night brotherhood class and priest and officer of 1,000 Yedaya. With that being said, man, I want to implore you all to pay your tithes. ISUPK.org, pay your tithes. Tune in to Black Watch every Monday, 9 p.m. Commander General Yohana breaking it down heavy every Monday and Wednesday, 9 p.m. and Saturday. Tune in to Ask Ye the Prophet every Wednesday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Let a Hebrew speak, with General Hazayan. Every Monday morning, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. Ask Ye the Prophet, General Mayaka, Allah 12 Show, General Mayak. Send your questions in to askyetheprophets@gmail.com. Ask Ye the Prophets, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Tune in to Cross the Line Radio. Captain Dezaria, Captain Katazar. Tune in to One West Radio with Captain McDowell Hall, Captain Palmer Hall, my big brother, the priest and officer of 5,000 Double One. With that being said, man, I'm going to pass the class off. The priest and officer of 1,000. Horizontal recovery. Sound correct.
Priest officer, you die on my hand. Slide it there with me. Slide, sir. Announcements up.
Should be, Good night. Not on the clipboard.
No, live.
Mr. Y, good thing is, I know him by heart. Now we are the ISUPK, so out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commander General Yohana. Rule for new brother and sister. When a new brother or sister comes to the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They're here to shed themselves with the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There's another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. You know what I mean? In another 6 months, the brother and sister get permission from the head to marry. Tithe is a commandment. You can read about that in the book of Numbers, chapter 18 and verse 21, and the book of Malachi, chapter 3 and verse 8 through 10. By Ishur, it means 10th in Hebrew, 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you. Give to the give to the Treasury Department. Priest fund, free will open for the priest, not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you would like to give, up become a holy convocation. Will be the memorial of the blowing of the trumpets, the first day of the 7th month, Sunday, September 25th, 2022. And you can read about that in the book of Leviticus, chapter 23, verse 24 through 25. Remind Akim to check the bulletin board in the back, in the hallway. We have the New York cookout coming up. We're going to have camp at Times Square, August 27th. On the 26th is a Friday. 12 Show General Hyman is going to have his class. We're also going to have Cross the Line Radio. The New York barbecue at Marcus Garvey Park is going to be August 28th. I expect all Blacks, Latinos, and First Nation men and women to be there. In Harlem, New York, Marcus Garvey Park. And if any brother wants to be a trooper of the school, start wearing all black, boot, shirt, headband, and scarf. And with that, I admire them, which means to stand. Men of Israel, we're going to give one courtesy salute. Men of Israel, Sister Shishabi needs to be seated. Men of Israel, we're going to give one courtesy salute. Men of Israel, Mount of Shabbat, Admaj, Barak, Yahweh Ba Hashem Yahushua Barakatham. Yahweh Matabi's hands down. Saul, turn your face, sisters, Admaj. Sisters, your Mount of Shabbat will be your feet at a 45-degree angle with your right hand over your left. Collapse like that with your head bowed and covered. Men of Israel, we're going to give the sisters one courtesy salute. Men of Israel, Mount of Shabbat, Majid, Barak, Yahweh Shamar, Al Thun by Hashem Yahweh Shah. Y'all should talk with me, hands down, class dismissed.